Hi.
Hi. I'm Ines Alpha. I'm a digital artist based in Paris, and I specialized in what I called 3D makeup.
Well, thank you so much for doing Small Worlds. I know I've already had the pleasure of hanging out with you in Paris, and we had an amazing day. But I guess this is for all the people around the world who didn't get to hang out with us that day. Maybe they can get a little kind of like eye into it. But so what influence does Paris have on your work?
I guess it's like I don't know if I can say it's a paradox, but uh what I do isn't influenced by Paris. I don't think so. On the opposite, I'm not like a huge fan of what Paris likes, like minimalism or traditional kind of art. Um, I will always do something more extreme or weird or yeah, different. But I guess I can't erase my culture and my roots. So there might be things that I do that are influenced by French and Parisian culture. Maybe my fashion sense or the attention to details, some details.
I grew up in like a smallish town, and I always think it didn't really influence me because I loved, I got a really good childhood. I love my family, but I don't like the town, and I didn't like growing up there. So it kind of pushed me to discover another world kind of thing. I was really inspired by like 80s, 90s New York and what was happening in Europe, and I don't think I would have done that if I had grown up somewhere else. I would have just been, in the culture around me where I was really like actively trying to find, other cultures around the world. And so that became my thing. But then, I realized that I grew up somewhere that was really colorful and tropical. And so that
Mm,
I kept trying to like push that away in my work. And then I realized, so even if
yeah.
somewhere like doesn't influence you, it kind of does influence you on a different level, I guess. So, what's your favorite neighborhood in Paris?
13th arrondissement.
Mhm.
But there are Vietnamese, Thai, big Asian market. There's also the Jardin des Plantes, which is a very cute park, and it's very calm, and the streets are big, and it's not that gentrified. They are cool places, but it's not very. The 13th for me is not a cool area. It's calm, it's green. You feel that the air maybe is a little better. It's an underrated arrondissement, I think.
So your favorite food or favorite restaurant in Paris?
There are so many good restaurants. That's very hard to
Give me a
choose.
couple. Give me
I
two or three.
Okay, there's one.
Okay.
Tie it up. Okay, okay. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's a very good restaurant. It's Japanese,
Mhm.
but it's also a restaurant that I've been to since I'm a child, I
Wow.
think, because my parents would bring me there with their Japanese friends because my parents used to work with Japan quite a lot. So every time they would come, those Japanese people, professionals would come to Paris for work. We would meet them there,
Cool.
and it's called Chez Monsieur Machon.
Mhm.
No, Mister Machon. It's a Japanese barbecue,
Ooh.
and now Mr. Machon is very old,
Aw.
and all his hair is gray, and he's so cute, and the barbecue is still very good, very fine,
Wow.
and I always like eat the same thing, like the miso pork, and then I always end with the matcha ice cream with the
Ooh.
azuki sweet paste on top.
Mm.
So yeah.
If I came to Paris for one day, what might you and I do?
But there are two places where I like to take my foreigners friends to. There is the Musée de la Chasse, that you know, which is the hunting museum. But it's not a museum about hunting.
Mm.
So it's a very beautiful old house, kind of building in the center of Paris, and it belongs to a family of hunters, but aristocrats that have a lot of money, and they bought a lot of art pieces, and they're all mixed with so in several rooms with furnitures, and most artists they create works inspired by animals and plants,
Mhm.
And some are made from dead animals, and there is taxidermia as well. And I think this place is very unique and very beautiful, and also not crowded, which is pretty nice. It really looks like something from Paris and from France. It's very typical, so that's, but also mixed with modern contemporary art. So I think it's very interesting for creative. And the second place is the Marché de Saint-Ouen. So it's a flea market. There are different markets. So one is like more specialized in vintage clothes, vinyls, like discs, toys. And in the middle of this market, which is very industrial, like the architecture, there's like a huge orange spaceship from the 70s. This is number one spot for taking selfies and all. And then there are other markets, and all markets are kind of different in architecture. And one is like a very small village. Like you still feel you're in France, but you don't feel you're in Paris anymore. And it's all little houses, like very tiny. So it's also a nice place to see.
Your favorite project so far?
I'm gonna say my latest project because I've spent so much time on it, and I've collaborated with amazing people to help me achieve the level of quality I wanted. Because I wanted to create a new piece for an exhibition, a group exhibition that we were co-creating with another artist who's called Anorel. She's also a brand. And I wanted the exhibition to be very special, and everyone was creating something new for it. So I was like, okay, I need to create something new and beautiful. And then little by little, we discussed between artists, and everyone was preparing something like truly amazing. I was like, okay, I need to step up my game. I can't do a DIY video anymore for this exhibition. I need to do something like on another level, because they are bringing the energy, like, oh my god. So at first I wanted to do 3D on myself, as I do most of the time, because also it's just easier to do. Like I don't have to have someone available. I'm just available all the time. So but doing the video myself, I don't have the equipment to do something very HD. So I asked a friend, she's a photographer, and we did a series of pictures together last year that I really love as well. She's called Lee Rodagil, because I think she's half Spanish. And I asked her, do you want to do a video? And she was like, no, I'm a photographer, I can't do a video. And I was like, okay, let's just borrow a camera, and you press record, and you just set up your lights, and I think you're gonna be fine. Yeah. And it's just a quick 10 seconds video. It's like an animated portrait, literally. So still, she got help from a friend of her. He's a videographer, so he had the equipment. And we also hired a makeup artist and a hairstylist that she know from previous editorials she worked on. So yeah, I really could produce the video of my dream, like the quality, the real quality. I would love to do that all the time, but and I also did physical sculpture with another artist that I know and collaborated with a few years ago. And she proposed me her services, like, if you ever want to do a sculpture someday, I can help you, because she's like a true artisan. Like she's very crafty, and she's a plastician artist. She's not a digital artist. Wow. So I could, thanks to her, I have like my first ever art sculpture that I could exhibit. So I'm very proud of this project, and I should exhibit it in London soon enough. So hopefully, if the sculpture doesn't break during transportation.
Anyway, thank you so much for doing Small World. I had a really good time. I hope you did too.
Thank you, Kris.
I
had a really good time too. Thank you so much.
Yay. I'm really excited to come to Paris again this summer, and we can go to the flea market, and yeah,
totally. It's going to be fun.
Yay. Bye.
Bye, Kris.
Bye.